Hey! Look at us go. See, we were totally on there like perfect, and then Ryan blinked.
I was actually moving my eyes the entire time. I wasn't steady still.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
fine. It's good. Hey, everybody, how's it going? You guys look good.
Thanks. You guys look good too.
You guys, man, it's amazing. Wow, welcome. It's Wednesday edition. That means it's
That's right.
actually Don't Worry Wednesday
It is
right
the
here
the
on
start of
Don't
it
Worry
all
Wednesday.
of the whole series. Don't worry, Wednesdays on Wednesdays. Here we are.
Yep,
It's
we
good to
made
be
it.
here.
We made it. You made it. Jesse made it happen
That's
like a
right.
boss.
Thank you, Jesse. We
Holy
actually really
cow.
appreciate you going
You
through
guys,
everything you go through.
it was amazing. Like, you guys should have been here. It was, wow, it was something. Poor Jesse. Like, I was treating it like a game, and poor Jesse, he's like pulling his hair out, and he's got such glorious hair. Those
Mm,
of you who have seen him on Twitch, like, you know how glorious his hair is,
that's
actually.
true.
Yeah. So, wow. You know what? Man, I wasn't even ready yet, and we started. Holy cow, man. All right. Now I think I'm ready.
All right. Good. Let's do it then.
So, yeah, welcome everybody. It's Don't Worry Wednesday. Don't
Hey yo.
waddle Wednesday. Waddle waddle Wednesday. Man,
What are your
it's
mommy
awesome.
is
What up with your
Wednesday?
mom? What up with your mom at a Wednesday?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we're here, and it's amazing because you're here, actually. We're here because you're here.
That's yep.
If
That's
you
fair.
weren't here, we wouldn't be here. We'd
Mm,
find something else to do, probably.
yeah.
But
So we're glad you're here because then it means we get to be here and we like
that's
being here.
right.
Yes.
That's right. This is the best. Actually, you know what? I could hang out and have conversations with Ryan like all day long. It would be great, but it's way better when there's all of you here with us. So this is the show. Those of you who are lurking or don't know, haven't been here before, whatever. This is the show where we handle any issues, challenges, or topics you might feel you want to share with us. Any challenges you might be going through. We are not professional therapists or counselors or lawyers or doctors or athletes or whatever, anything like that. We are just here, and we want to be your friend. We want to offer some love and encouragement, maybe some perspective. um, we always say out here, the only thing that qualifies us to do a show like this is the fact that we've messed things up a lot. At least I have. Ryan's pretty much perfect.
Okay. That's not true, but at least I'm not any less than perfect.
That's right. Yep. He's not perfect, but he's not less
I might not be perfect, but at least I'm not any less than perfect.
right.
And that
Yes.
takes you a long way.
So that way you have the one who knows how to do everything because he's not any less than perfect. And then you have me, who, according to my kids, the best thing I do is mess things up. That's what I'm the best at. So you get like the best of both worlds,
That's
which is
right.
great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you get the hardest working person on the show, Jesse, our producer. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah. And I can't wait to see him, like, see a visual with him with a little bit less hair than he used to have.
You can't wait to see that, huh?
After this fiasco.
All right. Fair enough.
Yes. And in our chat room princess is hostess. Our chat room hostess is princess.
Yes, our chat room princess is also princess. So welcome
Yes.
her. She's amazing.
Yes. She's awesome. And yeah. So, and our star of the show tonight is Ryan. I'm just the host.
All right.
And Ryan's the star.
Okay.
Chat room princess. We got the chat room princess. We got the star of the show, the shining bright star. He is the ascended one, as Magician Jester has appropriately
Oh yeah. Yeah. No.
said there. Yes.
I have not yet died, hopefully. But thank you for thinking so.
But you're closer than you've ever been before.
Yes, which is wonderful. So I'm anticipating, but I'll give it its time. I've got things to do before I go. I've got all sorts of people like you guys to hang out with.
We got to do this stream, Ryan.
Yeah. Right. At least.
No ascending until the stream's over.
All right.
It'd be cool if you stuck around till Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Whoa.
That
Stay
was
there.
close. You almost left, man.
I know. I just
You almost
gotta make
were
sure
gone.
I stay down. All right.
Oh man, you know what?
I
I
don't
was
want to send
recording
too
this whole
quickly now.
thing. I was recording this whole thing, and my volume was turned all the way down,
All the way down. Well,
all the way down. So I wasn't picking anything. I'm like, why
that's
do I just
perfect
have a
because now we
flat
get to
line there?
start.
I have been talking this whole time, and it's like flat. Like, what is going on? I figured it out. I fixed it.
That's
See
right.
how
Snow
fast that
bones.
was, Jesse? See how fast I fixed that?
Moving on. Moving on before someone else loses his hair. And you don't have any hair in your head, so it's going to hurt a lot more when he rips it out. Because it's going to be off of your chest, your back, everywhere.
Oh my goodness. I don't have any back hair.
Well, I didn't say. Okay, fine. Yes, you do
He's
probably do.
gonna
You probably
find them,
do.
though. He's in those little tiny ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Those
talking about. The little
hurt the
tiny
most.
ones. The ones that don't
Yep.
come out, but he'll get them out of there.
That's he will.
Oh
Good
my
thing he
gosh.
lives like 1,500 miles away. So hey, you know,
I just thought of this old, it's horrid, but it's funny. Okay, so there's this old series, like really long ago, about this ninja. And he's talking about the ninja things that he does.
Hmm.
And he's clearly not a ninja, but he's talking like he is one. And he's like, oh, my favorite way, like someone's basically interviewing him, and he's like being asked, like, what's your favorite way to assassinate somebody? And he's like, oh, I've got no favorite way, but I'll tell you, one of the best things to do, you sneak in their room at night and you tie a string to every single living hair on their body. You should see the face when you yank that out. It's like death. Like they get shocked to death. And I'm like, dude, that's terrifying. But that's what Jesse's gonna do to you. He's gonna ninja your hairs out in the middle of the night.
Oh man, that will be something. I will be awake probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will be awake. If I'm not, I will be for sure at that moment, definitely. But all right, well, yeah, I think we should start. Don't you?
Definitely.
Now that
we've got that out of the way.
Flat line and Jesse's gonna pull my hair out, and that's gonna be great. So anyway, all right. So I'm gonna go through the list of names here. If you hear your name, just feel free to say what, Ryan?
Oh, what a bebop?
A what a bebop? A what a bebop. Tonight it's a what a bebop.
Guys, I made it simple for you guys this time. What a bebop?
A what a bebop, and it doesn't even involve your mom.
You go what a bebop your mom.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So anyway,
you can go to whoopidybebop.com.
Whoopidybop.com. Whoopidybop.
Yep. Whoopidybop. I've changed it.
Whoopidybop.com.
All right, let's get on with it before things go too farther.
We're going crazy over here. Oh man, you better just stop us now. Princess is trying to rein us in, and she's
drawing upside down V's and stuff.
Oh my gosh, you should see it. It's great. Anyway, all right. So here's the names: Hyrule, Sumner Kagan, John Doe, Man Left Behind, Eric Bodine, Caffrey, Subaru, Amira, Rain Knight, Sparrow, excuse me, Joe, which I think is Joe Bohan.
Yeah.
Wandering Soul, Akil, Elizabeth, Aura, also known as Cherry, Nobody Important, and again, another Akil. Sparrow is present here, yes. Swilk said, what a bebop.
Ooh, Sparrow, I'm glad you're here with us. It's been a couple of times we've done this and you haven't been here, and I'm like, where's Sparrow? I missed that guy. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm glad you're here with us. Awesome.
He said, what a bebop at yourmama.com.
Yeah, you can what a bebop yourmom.com.
What a bebop
with us on Don't Worry Wednesdays.
Right here.
Right here on Don't Worry Wednesdays. What a bebop yourmom.com. That's right, Akil.
All right, so Sparrow's here. Sparrow is the first one on the list, and so Sparrow, you are here. We're gonna do yours. It's April. Yep. Oh, he posted this on April Fool's Day.
Oh
boy.
Well then,
this could be fun. All right. So Sparrows. This is called Confliction by Sparrow. Princess just posted the link, and it goes like this: Sparrow is here. My parents noticed I have been less sensitive, but I don't feel any different than I did before. I don't know how to feel anymore. Sparrow is still in chat.
Hmm.
And that is the end. And there's a response from Senna on there already. Thank you, Senna. And if you haven't read that yet, Sparrow, you can see what she wrote. But anyway, yes, I understand, and I don't know if this has come up since the lockdown. I don't know. I mean, because sometimes being around people more can make people notice things a little bit more, or it can make us change a little bit. Sometimes we get a little frustrated, and weird things start to happen.
Hmm.
Um, but
Or you get
hold
a
on,
little bit quieter.
my chair is squeaking like crazy. Woo! This is great. I'm gonna just stop that right now. All right. So anyway, all right. So I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan and see what he has to say because he's the ascended one.
Oh my gosh, guys, don't please. You got to stop.
Sorry, but it's too
You
fun.
got to stop eating the Tide Pods. All right. No. Okay. So, here's the thing. I'm Senna's replied with this to this post, and honestly, she didn't give you any answers that help, but she's kind of asking some questions for more detail, and I'm gonna have to ask the same questions, because I'd like to understand more about like what you're experiencing, because there's different ways to take this. So, um, you see, your parents have noticed you being less sensitive. You said you don't feel any different than you did before, right? So, do you think that you don't feel very strongly about things in general? Um, or do you think they're just seeing a specific side of you more? um, you said, I don't know how to feel anymore. So is it like, like Senna said, do you feel numb? Do you just completely lack the ability to feel right now? Or you still feel things and you're just not physically showing it? Or yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get an understanding of the nature of this exactly, um,
Yeah,
before I talk about it for a
and
while.
and maybe also do they have a definition of what less sensitive means? Because that could mean
Mm.
different things to different
Yeah,
people. Like so
right. And
so.
if they mean you're less sensitive, it could be like I don't know how far you took the conversation, but it could mean like they think that you're maturing. It could also mean that they think you're being uh, reclusive or unopen. It could also mean that you are saying things and not being sensitive about the words that you're choosing to use.
Hmm,
I mean, it could mean so many different things.
mhm.
So, some clarification. Maturing. Okay.
Hey,
Okay, this sounds good then. So
right.
your parents have noticed you being less sensitive, meaning you're not as um you're not led on by your emotions as much into a state that's unlogical or um you know, etc. Which is good. Yeah. And you said you don't feel any different than you did before, but then you concluded with I don't know how to feel anymore. So like um what exactly do you mean by that? Do you mean that like so even though they see you as maturing, you feel like maybe you're not maturing, you're just less vocal, or rather not vocal, less you just don't feel anything anymore? um or yeah, I'm guessing that's it.
And actually, the conclusion of it is Sparrow is still in
Yeah,
chat.
Sparrow's still in chat. Yeah, that
But
is the conclusion. You're right. Well, apparently the even further conclusion is it was edited in April 1st by Princess Yellow.
oh yes, Princess, the princess of the chat.
Hmm. But I guess I'll just get on with it. So yeah, obviously, as we go through life, we start being less sensitive generally. Not everybody, but a lot of us. As we grow older, we become more accustomed to all sorts of different things in life. As we grow older, we become more capable of dealing with ourselves and using our okay, I'm unsure what I meant at that last part. Okay, that's fine. So I mean, it's pretty natural to just start to react less to things. When we're a child, everything is new.
Mhm.
Even up until we're like 12, they're like still things are just incredibly new. You'll notice that generally speaking, a 12-year-old will fanboy or fangirl over something a lot more hard and intense than a 20-year-old. And a 20-year-old can fan over something, but it's going to be a lot less intense than a 40-year-old.
Mhm.
And likewise, the older you get, the less you seem to get um, emotionally riled by things. So that comes with good things and bad things. Part of the fun, part of why they say, a lot of people tell you to be this way, and even the Bible says this to some degree. Live your life as a child. Constantly full of wonder and gasp of everything that's out there, and being like, oh my gosh, there's so much. I want to learn so much. I want to do so much, and to have that emotional power behind it is a beautiful thing. As we continue through life, that emotion can kind of go up and down. And so part of it is that it's seasonal. And the other part is that we have experienced a lot of something recently. Part of it is if we've fed our mind a whole bunch of entertainment and things like that, then our ability to get excited and wonder about things is limited because we constantly use up the chemical that's in our brain for that sense. So when we get really excited about something, instead of all that happening at once and being like full on board, if we constantly feed ourselves entertainment, what ends up happening is we get dulled down because we run out of that chemical. And when something new happens, instead of getting excited, we're just like, oh, that's new. That's exciting. That's cool. And then you don't feel the emotional power behind it, and also depending on your personality, right? We all have different personalities. Some people show their excitement physically. Some people, they get really excited and they just talk a lot. Some people get excited and you won't even know it. You'll be like talking about something to them, and then like 30 minutes go by, you're really excited and you ask them, you're like, okay, so you haven't really said anything. Am I just like the only one that's excited about this? And they're like, no, yeah, I'm actually, that sounds really cool. I'm excited. It's like, are you though? You don't sound like it. No, like, yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna be thinking about that for a couple of weeks. That's cool. Okay. That's how people, they are like literally the same level of excitement as you, believe it or not. It's just that they don't express it through their physical body. It's their mind is going 7,000 miles an hour and probably faster than yours. And they are just thinking about stuff really hard. And that's how they get excited. So there's all sorts of different branches here about whether or why not you might appear less sensitive or less emotional to things, right? And then there's also the fact that you're maturing as a human being. I mean, you're spending time with us here in this chat, and that's the whole point of doing this Don't Worry Wednesday, is to help other people grow and go through their lives with this positive information to set their emotions right, to give them that extra layer of fortitude in their life, to help them dismiss dumb thoughts and take up the good thoughts, to dismiss bad ideas and take up great opportunities, right? And that might make us more mature. It also might make us less sensitive to everything. And that's, nothing's wrong with that. So if you are worried, I would say, don't worry about it. Sounds like a good thing to me. But if you're worried that sometimes we worry because things are different, right? We worry because people notice something different and we're like, uh-oh, is that okay? Is this wrong? Am I doing something wrong? And sometimes we worry when other people worry about us, because we don't want other people worrying about us. And so with all of that, That's another topic on top of this is, you know, if people see change in you and they mention it, you can examine for yourself if it's a good or bad, but it's probably a good thing, you know? And maybe it's not a good thing. If if you examine it and you're like, oh, I need a change here, well, then that's great. It's interesting because, people do change over time, and it's a very good thing, but it's scary. Sometimes it can be scary to accept that change. It can be scary to be like, uh-oh, I'm changing. I'm different. Uh-oh, I don't want to be different, you know? But the truth is, that's just the fruits of our labors in how we're growing and changing. And I think it's a good thing, right? But it can be scary. Um, we don't a lot of times we don't want other people noticing us like that, you know? We want to be able to be better without necessarily having other people go, say anything about it. Because if they start saying stuff about it, it kind of puts the pressure back on us and makes us go like, uh-oh, am I going to lose my relationship here? Are they upset at me? Is this okay? And I think that since it's your parents, it's probably a good thing. And I wouldn't worry so much. Yeah. And just like Joe said, I mean, we're all kind of locked up in a house together right now. So, um, it's, it's pretty normal for us to start noticing each other a little bit more,
Hmm.
which again is also a good thing. Um, but on that, yeah, I mean, you can, you could come home from school every day and have a little bit to talk to about your parents, but right now there's like nothing going on. And so it could also appear as like, though you're like, just like emotionally dead. You feel emotionally dead because there's like nothing going on.
Hmm.
That could be the case too, but I don't know. There's all sorts of different avenues here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Joe and let him talk for a while.
Ah, well, you said all the things I was going to say.
Well, please expound, because I
Expound
just
on
all I
what you
want to do
said.
is shut up right now.
But I love listening to you talk is the thing. Dang it, you're not even gonna say anything. Okay, all
Nah, I'm not. I'll let that one hang. Okay, I'll say something. Oh, you're
right.
welcome.
That's good. Well, I'm with Ryan 100%. I think, this could totally be a good thing. I mean, especially if what you said is true, that when what they mean by you being less sensitive means that they've noticed kind of a maturity level increase or something like that. Like things don't rile you up like they used to. And that's really cool. I had this experience actually today on a um when I was doing my Taekwondo class on the computer here, and um, the instructor offered some correction, and I can remember, it just went through my mind because I was like very intrigued by his correction, and I took what he said and I did it, and I applied it. I tried to do that immediately as best that I could. And I can remember a time when and it just the thought flashed through my brain of me being younger and getting defensive in that type of situation where someone offers me something corrective and says, okay, you know the way you're doing this, do it like this instead, like, okay, what you're doing is this here, da 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 da, this is what I'm seeing. What I want you to do is, put your hands here, look at your target, da 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 da, and basically correcting as best he could on video without, actually moving my limbs to those different places. And
Yeah,
and it was really cool because I thought to myself, oh, this type of thing used to upset me because I'm a perfectionist, and I would be like, oh well, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's only a fifth degree black belt and I'm a red belt, like how could how could he be telling me what to do? But of course, obviously he's the instructor, he knows what to do. But that was just a moment that goes along with this type of thing where I can remember at times I'd be very upset, and I would be sensitive to that type of correction. And now I'm not sensitive at all to it. In fact, it's more just along the lines of I'm working alongside the instructor, thinking, okay, how can we together work to improve my skill as a martial artist, right? And it just, right along that same thought pattern is this, where your parents have noticed, hey, things don't get to you as much. I remember a day when my parents said, you're different now. This was after I had read some books, had some experiences. I'd gone through some stuff, and I just had a different outlook, where it used to be my outlook was kind of dark and negative, and I'd always have something sarcastic to say. And it started to switch to being encouraging and kind of forward looking and more of excited about the future, rather than just like, we're gonna just muddle through here and get through, like Don't Muddle Monday. But to just, they noticed that change in me, and they mentioned it, and those words stuck with me, and they still are stuck with me. And this happened, probably 16 years ago that they said this. And I remember it just like that, clear as a bell. I remember where I was. I remember the wall. I was at my brother's townhouse in the UP, and I was looking at a wall. His wall had, those map books, those atlas books. He had taken all the pages. It was like 108 pages. And he had this huge wall, and he had taken 108 pages out of this atlas, and he had put them all together to make the Upper Peninsula of Michigan on
Oh,
his wall. Like, so you could actually go to this map and you could look at all the little tiny, every single road possible was on
oh,
this big map, right? On his wall. And I remember I was looking at that, and I remember those words coming out of my mom's mouth, because it made such an impact on me. And it was affirming to know that, yes, I am growing. Whatever I'm doing, it's working, because they've noticed a change in me, and they've noticed that it's a good change. And it'd be one thing if they noticed a change and it was a bad change. But from what you're saying here, it sounds like this is a good thing. And even though you don't feel any different, the change is
hmm,
apparent to the outside world. In
yeah.
fact, I felt the same way at that moment when I was looking at that big old map wall of the UP, and my mom said that. I can remember thinking to myself, I still feel like the same guy. But they had noticed a change, and it was impactful to them, and that's a really cool thing. So I have to say, Sparrow, I'm proud of you.
Hmm.
Whatever you're doing, keep it up, because it means you're growing. It means you're getting better, you're getting stronger, you're leveling out your emotions. And that's a good thing. I love what Ryan was talking about, with, as we get older, stuff just tends to hit us less, and there's a little bit of that. I've seen that before, I've done that before, I've been there before, and that just comes with experience. And we tend to categorize things based on what we think something is. Like, we look at maybe a new opportunity or something, and we lump it in the same category as these other opportunities that we've seen before and they failed. And so we just automatically assign failure to this opportunity. But really, it might not be. So the trick now, as you grow, is going to be, how do you stay open-minded as you mature and as you grow? Because you're going to be tempted to be in the boat of, yeah, I've seen that before, I've done that before, I've been there before, and it was not what I expected, blah 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 blah. And this, I'm just assigning to this type of thing. So really, as you grow and as you get older and you go along this path, the key now is going to be noticing things and actually digging into things and taking that time to stay open-minded. Because as I've heard people say before, a mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it's not open, you
Right.
know? So yes, so that's going to be the next level. So as you grow and as you mature, make sure that you're staying open and not letting yourself be closed off. Because then what happens is you turn into like the crotchety old person that's just like, meh, 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 you know, they just know everything. So that there you can take this a little bit too far in that direction. But right now sounds to me like you're right in the middle of that sweet spot and it's doing great. So if there's anything else that's troubling you about this, feel free to put it in the chat. But I gotta tell you, like I said before, I'm proud of you. I think this is awesome. And it's really awesome to see you again. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Ryan
Yeah.
because he's in the
Well,
middle of typing and so.
yeah, it's all good. I think that Joe's right on, and I remember experiencing something similar to that once as well. You know, just kind of like people noticing differences in me, and I'm like, huh, just me, still me. Like I didn't do anything different, you know. But yeah, I mean, it happens, whether it be just through maturity and growth, through the people that you hang out with, through new information, through choices that we're making, subconsciously or consciously. We slowly become different over time, and when people notice, they'll say it. And it's a lot of times, yeah, just like Joe said, it's like you're in that moment and you're like, huh, okay, I don't really know what you're talking about. I'm glad though. I think, is that okay? It's like your first thought is usually like, uh-oh, is that okay? Is that
Is
a
this an
bad
okay
thing or a good thing?
thing?
But yeah, usually when it's a good thing, it's kind of like, I don't remember doing anything to be different. I don't feel any different. I don't, you know. So I think it's pretty relatable. And yeah, just like Joe said, I'm proud of you too. You know, that's really cool to hear. It's actually, yeah, like it's a beautiful thing to be able to hear that, you know, your parents are noticing you and that you've matured and stuff. And I think that's, yeah, that's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing with us, Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
We love you.
Yes, yes, we do. And yeah, it's really good to see you again. It's been a while. So welcome back. And another person, excuse me, another person we haven't seen in a while is Amira. Amira showed up here in the chat, and we have a topic
Ooh.
from Amira from wow, like from March 20th. Amira, would you like us to handle this topic? It's titled "Stressed Out." And I think it looks to me like it's pretty relevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'd be really cool. So all right, well, Princess posted it on the chat, so we're doing it because Princess is boss. So feel free to click on the link. This is called "Stressed Out." It's by Amira. Amira, welcome back. It's great to see you. And hope everything is going well for you right now. I know it's a tough time, and it sounds like this post here has to do a lot with that. We're just kind of down the road a ways from this post, so yeah, this will be a good one to do. So this is called "Stressed Out" by Amira, and it goes, "I'm stressed out. I just got a job not that long ago. It was really fun, but it's temporarily shut down because of the coronavirus. I'm struggling financially and haven't even gotten paid. Help. I honestly don't know what to do anymore. Well, I guess I've struggled because I haven't been able to work and I feel down because I can't go out or interact." Ah, yes. It is definitely that type of a situation out there. So
Mhm.
it's hard, I mean, personally, I'm looking around at all these people that are home from work, and I'm a little bit jealous because I'm still out doing property inspections, you know.
And they're
But
jealous of you because you get to go out.
that's right. They're jealous of me because I'm out doing my job. And it was funny, like I ran into a person actually approached my car when I was out there doing an inspection the other day, and they were really friendly, luckily. But But they came up and they maintained safe distance from my car and everything. But they were like, "So, how's this lockdown treating you? How's your break?" And then they were like, "Oh, wait, you're not on a break."
Yeah.
You're still working. I'm like, yeah, I
Yes. Yeah.
know. I'm looking around at all these people that don't have to work and stuff, and hopefully, and I know that there's been some assistance and stuff for some small business owners, and hopefully that, um, hopefully you've been able to get some sort of pay or some help from somewhere. I know there's some stimulus stuff going on. I don't know all the details on that, and I'm not an accountant. Um, but yeah, hopefully there'll be some help on the way for you as far as financially goes. But yeah, and now um, especially not being able to go out and be with other people. Depending on your personality, that could be good or bad. And sometimes even if we're introverts, we still crave that interaction with people. Which is why I've been really excited to be online a lot and to be
Hmm.
doing a lot of shows with these people, with all of you guys, with you guys and people that come to Double Cup of Joe show, and everything. I mean, it's been great to hang out with you guys, and so that's one thing I would encourage you to do before I hand it over to Ryan is keep getting involved in chat rooms, keep getting involved in maybe on Discord or on Twitch or follow streams that you like and get involved in communities and especially the BSS community. We've got streams every day now, every day, and you can join us and hang out. And there's people there, and you can chat with us and with them.
Hmm.
And we did these live so we could hang out with you guys, and have a conversation, like be here with you at the same time. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Ryan because he's the ultimate. So there.
I guess that's better. That's better than being the ascended one. All right, guys. Hello, my name is Ryan, the Ultimate.
Ryan,
And I'll
Ryan
be
the
doing
ultimate.
a Don't Worry Wednesday segment for you. Uh, wow. Okay. So Amira, that's really, first of all, it's really great to see you here. Thank you for like joining us, coming back to us. It's been a while. Maybe you've been like working and stuff during the times that or maybe just haven't had the urge to come back. Either way, doesn't really matter to me. I'm glad you're back. It's really cool to see you. I saw you in the chat a couple times now recently, and you've been putting good things down, things that other people are like, oh, being helped by. So, Amira, I appreciate you, and it's really cool that you stepped by here because you've been through a lot in life, and you have a lot of wisdom to share too.
Yes, yes.
I really like it when I see you post in the chat, and sometimes you might be like, "Well, I say really cheesy stuff," and I'm like, "That cheesy stuff works. It does."
Yep.
Why it's cheesy. I had a band director who um would they weren't competitions that you would place first, second, third, or whatever in, but we used to do these marching expos, these competitions that aren't really competitions because you don't get scores really, um, kind of. But yeah, he always got nominated because he always got like spoken about with his performance being one of the highlights of the whole night every single time. Why? Because he embraced the cheesy.
Yeah,
He was the
he
cheesiest
did.
marching thing ever. He put
Marching
formations
thing.
together. He would put the cheesiest songs and the cheesiest marching formations together because we would like do Disney. We would do like what's the name? Motown. So we had like Michael Jackson songs and stuff like that. And R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Okay, so anyways, things like that. And yeah, I mean, it was all cheesy and everyone loved it. So don't worry about being cheesy, all right? If you're cheesy, it means it's probably something that's worth reading. It's effective.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just like Joe was saying, I'm saying it too. We're happy you're here, and we're doing these shows to be around you guys, and so you can be around each other, so you guys can be around us too. So, if you're feeling lonely, well, I think you're already taking the right step being here. We're glad you're here, and we hope to see more of you in the future. Um, so yeah, it stinks because I know that you used to have another job and you didn't like it. You know, things weren't going very well there. Now you got yourself a new job. You got to work 2 weeks. You're having fun. Oh man, I'm so happy and excited to see that news. That's so cool, Amira. I'm so happy about that. I know you were struggling with that for a while, but it sounds really awesome that you get to go now. And then all of a sudden, now you work 2 weeks. You're like, yeah, this is going great, and then it's just like coronavirus, and it's like no one go out of their house, and you're like, are you serious? Things just started working out for me, and now this? You got to be kidding me. Yeah. First of all, that happens to everybody. In one way or another in their life, where things finally start going right, they finally got that job or whatever, and then something crazy happens where it just shuts it all down or puts the whole thing on wait. So yeah, that really stinks. One thing that um one thing that I would suggest is contacting the people that you're like your managers that you work with, just to keep up a relationship with them. And I know that sounds weird, but I would highly suggest it. I would contact your managers and or even just employees, but mostly your managers, and say, hey, do you want to go out for like a coffee or something? I know that we can't like sit in a store, but we can get a coffee and walk. So, oh, honestly, Amir, I can't remember you saying anything cheesy. It's been a couple of times, but what was her name? Sophia, or was it Little Miss? One of the two said that whatever you said was really helpful to him. I remember that specifically. But I mean, with all the things you've gone through, I know you have a lot of information and wisdom. So I can't remember the different things that you said, but I can remember the chat talking about them. And I can't remember what they said either. So I apologize. I just know that it was good. I don't have that good of a memory. All right. I'm not that ultimate. All right. Okay, it was a Little Miss. Yeah, probably. Yeah. A lot of people say you sound like a mom. That's great too, though. Moms are like the highest level of respect and everything.
That's right.
I mean, that's great, right? So that's awesome. That's a good thing, Amir, like Akil said. So anyhow, yeah, it's a weird suggestion. I get it. But yeah, contact the employees and the managers you work with and go out with them. Like, not like go out with them, like go on a date, but I mean like, hey, let's have a coffee and walk. Propose that idea to them. I know it's really weird. They're gonna be like, when? You're like, yeah, just tomorrow. I was like, why? Like, cause I don't know. I thought you were cool. I wanted to spend some time with you. You know, that sounds really crazy, right? Sounds like that's way out there. But you realize what that would do? That would solidify your position. When they get back into work, one of the first people they're going to think about putting on that schedule is you. And it's going to keep that going. It's not going to be like one of those things, like, because I had this happen to me. Check this out. I started working at a place, and I worked there for maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, I worked there for 2 weeks, just like you. And then they couldn't find a place for me on the schedule for 1 week. And so the next week they didn't put me on, and the next week they didn't put me on. And then a month went by, and I was like, they're just like, yeah, come pick up your paycheck for the 2 weeks you worked. And yeah, sorry. I'm like, wow. So that happened to me once. Joe's been through some crazy job experiences before, with things not working out and not getting paid. I had an interview. I landed the job one time, and the guy who hired me was like, yeah, dude, you're in. I'm gonna get you started in 2 weeks. And I was like, sweet. He said, so I'm gonna call you at the end of next week. I'm gonna give you your schedule. I'm like, sweet. Okay. And then he never called. And then I was like, that's weird. So I called them after about a week passed. And I'm like, hey, it's been a couple of days now. It's been like about 3 or 4 days since you guys were supposed to call me about my job. And they were like, who are you? And I was like, you're kidding, right? Like, I talked to the guy there. He said I was hired. He had to come up with my schedule and they were like, oh, who was it? And I told them the name and they're like, oh, he was fired. And I'm like,
oh
you've
no.
you've got to be kidding me. So that happened to me, right?
Wow.
So
the hiring manager was fired.
yeah, the hiring manager was fired. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So they didn't end up hiring me because they didn't know I talked to them. He never relayed that information. And so, yeah. Anyways, so stuff like this happens, right? When that happens, you just got to keep on moving forward because slowing down is not going to help.
Yeah.
But in this case, you still got a job. You didn't lose it yet. So the best thing you can do is get with the people that are working the place. Because if you can form relationships with them, that's going to make them want to be around you more in the workplace. And they're going to put you in the schedule more. I can tell you that. That's the way that humans work. There are things like, well, this person's been here for a really long time, so we'll put them on, and different levels of respect. But still, if you want to make sure you secure your job, I would, give them a call and ask them like, hey, can we go for like a walk or something? Just chill. Because they're not working and you're not working, there's nothing to do, so you might as well hang out with them or something.
Yeah. Just stay 6 feet away from them.
Yeah, they'll appreciate that. Wear 7 layers of masks. Everything will be
For me, you don't remember what I look like because I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah. And I've got these sunglasses on too. They protect my eyes. My eyes can get affected too. And this whole thing around my head, that's for my ears. So you can't see me, but I'm the girl that worked with you. He said, my boss is pretty cool and cute too.
Hey.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. That's really good to hear. Go hang out with him. I'm not kidding. Go call him up. Be brave. That's what you got to be in life. You just got to be brave, right? So go be brave. Call him up. Be like, hey, you're really cute. No, okay, don't do that. Hey, I'm not doing anything right now. Whenever you have some time, I'd like to hang out with you. Like, just grab a coffee and walk or something. And offer that up.
Well, I think
that's my best suggestion right to you right now in this moment. Because I can't really help you financially with that whole thing. Maybe Joe's got some ideas there. I'm sure he does. He's really good with coming up with ideas. But definitely, you want to secure your relationships there and you want to secure your job. And that's the best way to do it that I can think of. So I know I've repeated myself like 700 times. I'm sorry, guys.
700.
That's why I'm the ultimate.
At least I was keeping count. It was like actually 726.
That's awesome.
I had a clicker account.
Dang.
Like they do at the stores now to count people coming in and out.
Yeah. Wow. You're amazing, Joe. I'm gonna have to hand it to you. Everybody, I present to you Joe, the super ultimate. And he's going to do the super ultimate part.
The super ultimate part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, listen to what Ryan had to say. And even if you don't, even if you're not able to get in physical contact with them, even to talk on the phone, call them up, see how things are going, whatever, just ask. You can ask if they've heard anything. You can even keep it all about your job. You could keep it totally business related and just be like, hey, have you heard anything? Has any word come down or anything like that? And then from there, it can go into, so how's it going for you? And it can move into more of a personal relationship, personal conversation. And from there, who knows where it goes? You just kind of gauge it as it goes, but the point that Ryan was making is to start something, make the phone call or send the email or the text message or whatever it is, that even just says, hey, how's it going? or hey, have you heard anything about what's going on or whatever, I
Yeah.
mean, just
I like your approach.
yeah.
Make it business first and then move it into casual.
Yep. Yep. Because I mean, really, yeah, that way it won't come off as awkward,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. I mean, I know Ryan says embrace the awkward. So you could go all awkward and you could say, hey, you're cute.
Hey, you're cute and I'm
that
cute.
that would probably get
So
a response.
let's get a puppy
Be
together.
like,
Get
who
it?
are you? Like, are you the same person I think you are? Like,
Yeah. I don't remember you being like that.
I don't
Are you
remember
different over the
you
phone? Are you
saying
like that?
that.
You're the kind of person you just like when they're on their phone, they're just completely different.
Yeah, like if I said something like that to people that know me, they'd probably like, are you drinking? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Probably what they would think.
but yeah, you can keep it professional. So but like Ryan was saying, and I actually just thought of this statement before. I was listening, I had listened to lots of business owners about a lot of different topics. And one of the things about holding a job or keeping good business relationship in whatever, he said, really, all these other metrics that you use to measure the health of your business are important. You watch the numbers, you see the income, the outgo, you watch all those numbers, and you can track all that stuff and you can gauge the health of your business. But where the real health in your business lies is in relationships, because it's all about people. And I had a district manager confirm that when I was working. I was just a stock boy at a grocery store locally here. And I told this guy, I was like, man, you are really a good human engineer. Basically saying you're good with people. And I've just, every time you come in, I just had thought I ought to tell you that I noticed that. And here I am. I'm just a stock boy, right? I mean, I'm an older stock boy, and I wasn't a teenager anymore. I needed another job, and this was my third job at the time.
Hmm.
And so here I am, and I'm telling this district manager that, and he just calmly, he looked at me and he said, well, that's what it's all about. And it was such a true statement, because that's what it is all about. Having a job, keeping a job, you know, getting a new job. It's all about the people that you're
Mhm.
talking to. Eventually, I mean, sometimes to get a new job, you got to go through the electronic process. You got to go through the application process. You got to go through the finding it process. You got to get through those doors first.
Yeah. You gotta be
But
like, I'm
then,
qualified or I'm not overqualified. But then
exactly,
it's all about the human interaction.
exactly. Yep. After that point, it's all about the human. And I see your post here. Flirting with the boss won't get you fired. Sometimes it will.
Right. Sometimes it won't.
Sometimes it won't.
It
Sometimes
depends
it
on the
will.
job and the
Depends on the
people
job
entirely.
and the person and
If the
everything. Yeah.
boss
Yes.
flirts with you, you're allowed to playfully flirt back. But if they don't flirt first, don't do it. This is my recommendation from personal experience.
Right. Yes.
Actually, I've never been fired for
So
flirting with the
and that
boss. So
and always be careful in that too, because like there it's okay up to a certain point, and then there's a
Mhm.
line that you can't cross, and
Mhm, mhm,
it
mhm.
can, it can get weird.
Most definitely.
Um,
We're talking about. I'm not talking about like deep flirting. I'm just talking about joking.
sure,
Right.
sure, right. But at any rate, so with your job, yes, go back, listen to what Ryan said. There's a lot of wisdom there. As far as financially and the struggle and the challenge that we're going through, I know it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. It's I was trying to think of how to approach this, because this is the real meat of the topic, I think, and that is just the challenge that we're all facing right now, and how hard it can be, and how it's not necessarily as hard as we make it physically. Because truly, one of the things I've noticed about different situations and different crises that we go through and all that kind of stuff is that things tend to work out. They really do. Like, I mean, in this modern world, you know most of the time we're not going to, we're not going to starve. We're not going to go without water. I mean, our basic survival needs are going to be met, right? And we're going to struggle through. We're going to be able to get through. But the real battle is inside our brains. That's where it is. I mean, and the more we consume mainstream media, it seems like the more taxed our brains become. At least it does for me. I don't know if that's true for you. I know for some, like, that's so there are other people like me that the more we take in things like the news and all that, it just it's exhausting. For me, the big one lately has just been Facebook. Like, it's kind of always been that way. Like, but when I get on Facebook and I just scroll through all that stuff, by the time I get done, like 20 minutes later, it's like, how did I just spend 20 minutes doing this? First of all. Second of all, I feel like I've got just gunk all over me and I gotta like scrape it off, with some positive or something, like
To get an ice scraper for your car and just rub it on your body
yeah, right? Like,
until it chips every gross
or
little thing away.
or that whole thing about, Jesse tying, strings to
Yes,
every single
strings
one
to
of
every
my
single hair.
every one of my hairs and ripping them out. Like, that would be preferable.
to reading through Facebook. I agree entirely.
And maybe it's just my friends. Maybe I just have attached myself to the wrong crowd, possibly. That's entirely possible. I don't know. I don't think I'm friends with any of you guys on Facebook. But at any rate, with this situation that we're going through, with this struggle, there's a couple key things to understand. One is that you're probably going to be just fine by the end of this. You're going to make it through. And on the other side of this, it's going to be fine. And if you follow what Ryan was talking about as far as keeping that relationship with the people at your job alive, it's still going to be there when you get back. Or you're going to be able to find some opportunity, another opportunity. I know Jesse, our producer, has been through stuff like that where, he didn't have a job for like a year. And the way he ended up getting another job was he was contacted by a former coworker, that a person that he used to work with at his previous job. And so to keep those relationships alive, it helps to just be able to do well, in the midst of these challenges. So that's one thing. The other thing, start looking at this struggle as a workout, because you're going to emerge from this a stronger person if you look at it and live through it properly. If you look at this as something where, oh, you know what, there's nothing I can do, and it's just going to be awful, which is a huge temptation. And I would say if you spend a lot of time in mainstream land, that's the predominant thought. Can't really do much of anything. Might as well just sit around and do nothing, whatever. And at Black Static and Swerve, we looked at this, we were like, there's opportunity. Let's get to work, man. Like, this is the time to get active and get working. This is the time to start new shows. This is the time to, try and get involved with our community. This is the time to figure out new ideas. And it is, because just like every crisis, the Great Depression, like you look at the old wealth, big companies that are out there right now, a lot of them were started during the Depression. And that's because things got shaken. Things got shaken under people's feet. The ground was shaken. And so you know what they did? They got creative. They found opportunities and they got to work. And that's exactly what you can do right now. You can find something, some niche, something you're good at. Figure out where your talents lie. Figure out how it can fit into this digital realm, which I don't necessarily know all the connections for you. It's going to be different for everybody. But if you can take your abilities, your skills, your interests, and then you can figure out how it works in the virtual digital world. Holy cow. Opportunity is boundless. And with all the people sitting around doing nothing, holy cow. You will outrun them, and it won't even seem like you had to work hard, because you'll be moving and the rest of the world will be stopped. And so I think, wow, now's the time to move. So like use that gift of a mind that you have. You have a powerful mind, Amira. I know this because I've read what you said in the chat. I've read your posts. I know that your mind is super powerful. And if you use that to think, how can I fit myself into this new world that's being created? Because the world is never going to be the same again after this crisis. Things are going to change, and they're not going to change back. We're getting stretched beyond a limit here, and it's not going to go back to the old normal. It's going to be a new world as we emerge with new opportunities, new companies, new faces, new names. There's going to be a whole lot of new stuff, and it might not be noticeable at first when we first emerge.
Right. That's true.
But before long, you're going to start to see things, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can be a part of that. And the time is now to start trying to figure it out. And you totally can. And also, you're going to be so much stronger after going through this. You're going to be tough. The generation that went through the Depression, they were tough as nails.
No joke.
Tough as nails. The World War II generation, the generation that went through World War II, tough as nails. Man,
courageous bunch too.
Yes, you bet. And we are in times like that are going to create toughness. I'm telling you. So, yes, it's a challenge. Yes, it's a struggle, but that's where we get stronger. And it's going to be outstanding. I'm so excited to see what comes over the next year as a result of this crisis. I know it's scary. It's take all the precautions that are out there. Be safe during this time. But don't close your mind to opportunity, because they are out there, and they are endless. With the technology we have, with the ability to communicate, and with your specific skill set, I'm telling you, opportunity is now. And so I would challenge you to do that while you're going through this struggle. While you're going through this challenge, you can inflict a new challenge upon yourself to be creative and to start something. And share it with us. Come back and tell us how it's going. Come back and be, we would love to be along with you on your journey. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Ryan.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I love what you had to say, Joe. And that's so true. Now is not the time to just kind of sit there. Amira, you have every talent. You need to do something great. You can learn anything you need to do something great. So don't ever count yourself out. This is an opportunity for you too. Everything seems to be slowing down right now because people can't do their stuff. But that's exactly when we need to do stuff, like Joe was saying, So figure out what you can do in this time. Maybe you create your own job, or maybe you can find a job that is booming and exploding right now and just be like, yeah, I'm going to be a part of that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, the semi-driving business is huge right now. Just as an example of something that is booming, is going to be taking off during this time, driving around and delivering stuff. But regardless, one thing that I really like that Joe said is think about this time as your time to work out. And if we're talking finances, then work out your finances. And I don't mean like get them together in a line. I mean work them. So maybe you eat a certain amount a day. And you know what's funny is right now, because no one's doing anything, people are emotionally feeding themselves. Don't do that. Don't become an emotional eater at this moment in time. And if you are, it's okay. Now's your time to work it out, because your finances are going to rise or plummet based on that. So if you can limit the intake in your body, start a fasting period. You can go, I mean, you can go a while without eating food. I'm not going to recommend that. Take what I'm saying with like a rock of salt. And then, lick it a few
Literally.
times. Yeah. A rock of salt and just lick that. And that's your
Because you'll need
meal.
electrolytes if you're not
Yeah,
eating.
you actually will. I'm not saying go completely without food. I know that I don't have a problem with that. It's not easy, but I know I can do it, right? And it builds me. It makes me stronger. It makes my emotional conviction stronger. It makes me stronger in almost every single area of my life when I am practicing, when I'm working out or when I'm practicing something and following through with it. When I say I'm going to eat like once every 3 days, or I'm only going to eat one meal a day, or I'm going to skip eating on Fridays, or I'm going to, right? If I just pick one of those and I do it, my body can adapt. It's not a problem. I keep on living, but my brain and my finances grow. In what's weirdest of all, you would not believe me. Joe knows this firsthand. You get more energy. You start getting like, your brain starts being able to find the energy and going, hey, let's do something. Let's get something done. When you eat every day, when you eat all the time, when you get full of nutrition, like all the time, your brain kind of slows down. Your brain is like in mellow mode. It's in the mode of like, yeah, I'm satisfied. I don't need anything right now. So I'm just going to be relaxed and do nothing. But when you start to starve your body, right? I don't mean like hardcore starving. I'm not talking about like going bulimic, all right? But when you put off food for a while, your brain starts building up the desire to go out and do something. Part of that comes from this natural hunter-gatherer instinct that we have of like, ooh, I'm hungry. I got to go cut my food down and eat, right? But that fuels us to go do something. And it might not be hunting, right? But it can be anything. It could be drawing. It could be writing a story. It could be talking to somebody about something. It can be anything, but we get energy and we can start to pull energy from different parts of our body. Obviously a lot of we have fat stored up in our body so that when we don't eat, we burn that fat. The fat actually burns a chemical that releases something in our minds, basically, that gives us a different kind of mental energy. Joe could probably talk to you more about that, but that energy, again, is like, let's go do something. Let's make something happen. And then instead of feeling, because I know that, Amira, you said you started, you said I have too much energy, you know where to put it. Yeah. Yeah. Start thinking about that then. What do you want to put your energy into? I mean, right now, if you don't know, spend some time figuring it out. Think about the things that you like. Think about the people that you like. Think about what you kind of can do for them, or what you can do for yourself, what you can do for people that maybe you're like looking out there and you're like, with all this stuff going on, people don't have this. I could provide that. With all this stuff going out there, like, whatever, right? You could create something niche in the market right now if you wanted. And don't be like, oh, I could never do that. I wouldn't be the person that would be the millionaire or something. Maybe not, but it doesn't matter, because
Mhm.
here's the thing: doesn't matter if you could be if you become a millionaire or not. The fact that you're doing something is going to make the world a better place. It's going to
Mhm.
make your life feel like a better place around you, and it is going to be. Um, you're going to enjoy life more, um, and you had the chance to go through this period of where you don't have a job and finding one in it. Or even if you don't make any money doing it, you still have a job to fulfill, something to do with your time, something to amount to agree, right? Something that will keep the bar high on yourself and allow you to feel proud of yourself for doing, and something that will keep your relationships going, so that you don't, you know, go lax on that. So, anyways, just like Joe said, make this your workout period.
Mhm.
Not necessarily physically, but sure, if you want. There's a lot of people walking around right now. I noticed. If I
Mhm.
every time I look outside, there's somebody walking on the street. And I'm like, guys, it's cold, but that's cool. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but anyhow, that's all I got. Um, Joe, do you got anything else you want to follow us up with?
Yep. A couple links actually.
Oh, cool.
Um, if you're okay, I subscribe to these guys a ton, and you can find all kinds of workouts and stuff like that for free. You can get new ones emailed to your email box and all kinds of stuff too. But these guys, I noticed your post on here that says I have too much energy and nowhere to put it. I understand. I understand that that sentiment. So these guys are great. I would go there and you'll actually see pictures of me. I'm one of their um
Hit Academy.
testimonial people. Um
And your testimonial came from like your first like what
I
week or
did
something?
my first
2 weeks?
8 weeks.
Your
It's an
first 8
8 week
weeks.
program. Yeah,
And he's been continuing with this. So if you see the picture and you're like not impressed, if he was to take a picture right now, you'd be very impressed.
possibly,
Probably.
possibly not.
I don't know.
Um,
We'll find out. Joe, show
but
us. No, I'm just kidding.
what's interesting is these guys, like I started doing their workouts, right? I started just doing their free ones, right? And then I ended up buying their program. And at the time their program was like $25. Now it's like 18. So it's gone down in price,
Mm.
which is weird because most things go up in price, over time. But this actually went down. And so if you don't want to get the program, you don't have to, right? But the workouts will keep you busy and they're strenuous. So, so you don't have to knock yourself out here. But that's one thing. If you go there, um, you'll find some great ways to burn off some of that extra energy. And my exercise program now is basically their program that I've modified. I've taken the same principles that they have, and I've taken other exercises and thrown them in there and kind of made it my own kind of beast. But it's all based on the guys that all the information I got from hitacademy.com. Another thing, Ryan briefly mentioned fasting and not eating. So if you are under 18, I would not recommend going on a fasting regimen. Um, but
Amira obviously is, but yes.
yeah, um, so just because, before then your body still needs as much as it can get because you're actually growing, like you're growing in height, you're growing in whatever. So,
Bones and
yes.
arteries
So
and things.
all that stuff is still growing and developing. So they say at about 18, then maybe you can start thinking about this. But the information I got, about fasting, and what is really kind of amazing about that and stuff that we don't think about, is right here. There's this podcast, guy named Jimmy Akin, did a
Mm.
podcast, and if you'll see his before and after picture on here, and it puts mine to shame. But he basically went through a whole lot of different topics, and one of them was fasting, and just the discipline that it brings has been quite astounding. So you guys are amazing. I'm paying attention to the chat now. I
Yeah, you
noticed
better
that
not.
before. I've
No,
noticed
not anymore.
before.
I've destroyed it with too many comments apparently.
I noticed before Amira's got a couple retracted messages, and then I mentioned a couple, a little bit there, and I'm like, wait a second, I totally missed something I was talking, so I'm paying more attention now.
You better not.
But anyway, you can check out those two links. Those are just a couple of resources that you can look at as far as
So those are
exercise and
resources for
then eating
fasting,
stuff.
helping
The
us.
the second one was fasting. The first one was exercise.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, nice.
Yep. So at any rate, those are some things that, take it with a grain of salt. We're not professionals. These are just some things that I've experienced that have, worked in my life. And hey,
Why not share them? But yeah,
right. Yep. I'll
obviously
share
you got to
them.
do your life different than I'm going to do my life. So
That's right.
you
I
can
do
take what you see
Taekwondo.
and try
I
it. And
do
if it doesn't work out, stop trying it.
I do reverse hook kicks, and accidentally whack my foot on a chair and stuff.
Nice.
I would not recommend it. I'm interested to see Static Hairless too. Ooh, bald Static. Well, wouldn't that be something? Bald and clean shaven. Whoa. That's not even close to what that
Not
probably
even
looks
this.
like. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this hair coming out on the sides. Yeah, yep.
Yes. So anyway, wow, thank you so much, Amira. We've spent some time on this topic, and I tell you, I think it's appropriate. Because yeah, you're amazing. And your topic was amazing. So
Yes, for sure.
yeah, but at any rate, I think it's a good time to move on. Thank you, Amira, so
Yeah.
much for the topic. Thanks for being lively in the chat. It's great to see you again. And yes, please keep coming back. Like we were talking about, we do this show now Monday, Wednesday, Friday at
Same
9
time.
o'clock ish, as long as we don't have a bunch of technical difficulties to work out and all that kind of stuff. And then also come in the mornings if you're available at 7 o'clock Eastern. Joe Bohan, the Slightly Above Average Joe, and I do a show called Double Cup of Joe, and it's right on this same channel. And we have a great time waking up. And I have a great time waking Joe up. Double cup of Joey.
Oh yeah.
So
Joey.
Wandering Soul, you're next in line actually. But you
Yeah,
gotta
they said
leave,
they had to
huh?
leave in a few minutes.
Wow.
Soul searching, man, that's a good topic too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
if you gotta go, you gotta go. We're not gonna make you stay, but we appreciate you being here. Obviously, you come back whenever you can. We'll do yours.
Okay. Yep. As soon as you come
Yeah.
back, you are there.
Yeah,
And
please come back. I would love to talk about that.
Yep. Yeah, and like Ryan said, we're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I said it too.
I thought you said it.
I said it because you said it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next we have Akil.
Okay.
Akil, you are next. We've got one called Fleet. Actually, you know what? We got two. We got Fleet and Hate. And I'm gonna leave it up to you. Which one would you like us to do?
Maybe hopefully he's got fleeting hate.
Fleeting Hate. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Akil says no.
No.
That's not one of your topics.
We've got two topics. One is called fleet, the other one's called hate. We don't have a topic called no. Unless you change with the topics to name no.
That's right.
He's probably going to say no.
Well, if that's the case, we're just going to do Fleet because I'm the host. I can pick. I'm the host with the most. I'm the host with the most power.
Power.
Say, hey, look at me.
I've got the power.
Yes.
Used to be able to go really high with that. Obviously, right now, that is not the time.
Akil, we love you and we want to do your post. So we're going to do it. We're going to do this one called Fleet. I'm having an amalgam of things right now. Hey, that's cool. A lot of us are. So we will do this one called Fleet. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna right now. And you all can read it with me because Princess just posted the link and so did I. All hail Joe.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Well, we'll see. But all right. Well, so this is from
The almost
Akil.
almighty.
The almost.
I didn't
Well,
want to say almighty because that's false, but
I am not the
almost.
ultimate though.
Yeah, you're the super
That's
ultimate.
you.
Don't know which one's better. All right, carry on.
Harry,
Sorry.
oh, you're so right. I'm sorry. I gotta address this. Cherry says I want Corona to go away so I can have hibachi again. Me too. Oh my
Man,
gosh. I was just talking about that with my oldest son. We were talking about how
really.
great there's this place in Lansing called the Hibachi Grill.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's so great.
Man.
So
I've only been to hibachi once and I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, it's so great. This place also has sushi
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
and hibachi and everything. Oh, it's so wonderful. But anyway. All right, this is called Fleet by Akil, and it goes like this. The main definition of fleet is a number of warships under a single command. Hope you know what I'm bringing isn't war. In fact, it's the opposite. However, fleet also can be a word to define swift motion. Fleet, or rather what's fleeting for me, is time. I, with the chain of events these days, sunk into hikikomori life again.
Hikikomori.
Hikikomori. What does that mean, right?
That's where you spend all your time at your own house.
Okay, cool. I have become what you call a big procrastinator. It's comical, really, yet the 2 weeks away before classes start again becomes 1 week today. I guess I shouldn't say procrastination since I've completed the things I need to do and have been following schedules and routines, but that's just it. I've been occupied with doing the things I need to do and things wanted to do that I forgot to try things. It's not that I don't have time, as we all know, I have all the time in the world right now. It's just now that I am free, I felt days are quite uneventful compared to days of university. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I have been living healthily lately. With all the activities like working out, tending to my green children, and house chores, I feel slow, like this loop of days have been a weight wrapped around my legs. I'm always happy to help around the house, but I feel like I keep forgetting a few things. Like I don't want this life to change. What's going on? Why am I contradicting myself? I've been trying to move forward to face changes all this time for the sake of making my past worth and for the future of not just myself, but everyone I can reach. I have vowed to keep at it. What is going on? I know it's fine to be accepting, but there's this doubt in the back of my mind. If I need to put an image for it, it's a black cat on top of a tall corner furniture. I love cats and will always be glad that they will tolerate my presence. The thing is,
That's right.
Why is it up there in the corner? And what's more, I don't even keep cats as pets. Where in the bloody world did you come from, little one? I feel watched. I feel judged for everything I do. I don't like feeling alone, but the feeling of presence looming over me isn't something I even wish for my enemies. I don't even want enemies. I would like to think that I have faith and my God is a benevolent watcher. But this isn't the feeling of a faithful believer about God watching over him, but this felt familiar. This felt like having realization of a third person viewpoint with the first person view stitched up into it. Is it I that watches myself? Aha.
I'm
Good
really liking this
question.
one. This is enjoyable read.
Yes. Yes. So that's from Akil. And Akil, I have to say, I understand when you feel like nothing's going on. It's harder and harder to get yourself to do stuff. If there's one thing I'm glad about during this time, one thing that I feel very, very blessed about is that I still am working full time as an inspector. While a lot of people are out, while a lot of people aren't able to do anything because their places of business have closed or whatever, or temporarily shut down, they can't go anywhere. I am still pretty busy. And there's an old axiom that says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Because the busy person will figure out how to get it done in their schedule. And so I've been able to stay busy while at the same time throwing all these extra live streams into the mix. And now we're doing a bunch of music recording and all this planning of what we're doing as a business, because now we see now is such an opportune time. I still have my job.
It's
and I'm just
incredible.
throwing it all in there because I'm like, wait a second. If you want something done, give it to a busy person. And so, and one thing I've always been is busy, sometimes not always productive, but busy. And hopefully now I'll be more productive. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan now because I'm looking forward to
Oh,
hearing what
that's
you got
right.
to say.
I forgot it wasn't my turn to talk. I thought I was like, man, I was like ready for the long road, like waiting for.
You're like,
You had
yeah,
to say
because
about it.
Joe opened his mouth. He never shuts up. So like,
No,
we're...
I completely forgot that I had a turn here. Yeah, no, Joe, like I said, this is, I love this. I love reading through it. You are a really fantastic writer. Oh yeah. Oh, welcome back. Had to help with the curtains for a bit. Okay, cool. Well, you can go back and listen to, what Joe said previous to this.
It's not that important. You don't have to.
After the stream, naturally. But yeah. Welcome. I'm just about to start. So, and then I'm going to give over to Joe for his segment. So you didn't really miss out too much. Thanks for tuning back in with us. Let's go. But yeah, I love this. So you've got this contradiction, right? It's like you want to do stuff. You want to make sure you live a life that influences people and brings peace. And you want to go fast and all this kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, you feel like you're right now in this position where you're healthy and you're at home, but you're not moving towards your vision, but you feel good. And you're appreciative, at least you're appreciative of what you've got around you, it sounds like, which is awesome. And so you're like, well, now what's going on? Why am I contradicting myself? And I don't think that it's a contradiction entirely. See, we all have different parts of us in our lives, right? Sometimes we got to sleep. Sometimes we got to move, but we need both. Sometimes we got to eat. Sometimes we got to stop eating. We need both, right? And I think that a balance is good, right? And what I'm seeing here is you are finding a part of life that maybe you haven't had in a little while, and now you're getting to experience it again, and it feels good, and it's starting to put things a little bit more back into balance. Sometimes we work so hard at something for so long that it drains us, and we lose where we're going, we lose who we are, and then something else happens that we don't have any control over, but it pushes us into an environment where we're like, oh my gosh. And we start to go like, this is okay too. I kind of like this. We're starting to see things that we didn't expect we would like or enjoy that much, or things that we feel might contradict where we're trying to go, but we're being forced into it, and we're realizing it's okay. That part of life is supposed to happen to everybody. And I'm glad when it does. I see it happen to people, and a lot of times the immediate reaction is freak out. And then the ending reaction was, yeah, it was good. And it's wonderful. We go through life and weird things happen that we don't expect. And that's why I wrote, part of the reason, the grass is green everywhere and I'm confused, but I want to see some other lands. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Akil. I love that. That's why I'm just so glad reading this because, well, one, you're posting again, and that's so cool. Two, you're sharing with us what's good news. You know, maybe it's a little concerning to yourself because you're like, what? But I need that motivation to do other things. I think that'll come. You know, sometimes you got to play where the grass is green. You know, they always say the grass is green on the other side. And yeah, that's not really true because you take you wherever that is, right? They say the grass is green on the other side, but wherever you go, there you are. So if you're not in the right attitude when you get there, you're gonna turn that grass brown, and then it's gonna dissolve and turn to dirt. Biodegrade, rather. That's the better word. But anyways, but it sounds like, you know, you've been forced into the green grass and you're allowing it to be green and you're gardening it well. You're feeding the grass what it needs. You're supplying it with the conversation, the oxygen, the water, the soil, the acids, and everything that you can make out of this whole ordeal, right? Like you said, you're living a healthy lifestyle. Man, I am so proud of you for that. You know, nothing makes me feel better than living a healthy lifestyle. You know, I am not the kind of person that I would ever in the past or even now think of as like the guy who supports like super green living and healthy lifestyle and is a health lifestyle freak where I'm like going to the store, making sure I get everything that's organic and like finding like new substitutes for everything to make it the healthiest. I'm not that kind of person. But I tell you what, when I wake up in the morning and the first thing I eat is a salad, that's the weirdest breakfast you'll ever have. A salad with meat in it. And you're like, yeah, this is breakfast. I feel so energized throughout the whole day. I'm like, how come I'm not getting tired like ever? What's going on? I usually start to get a little drowsy, but I'm just like so packed full of energy. Like, what happened? And I'm like, oh yeah, I had a salad for breakfast, which was weird. But oh my gosh, I feel great. Yeah, Senna. Yeah, Joe kind of calls you out on that one. But yeah, healthy lifestyle. You're watering your grass, man, and literally you're feeding your plants what they need. You're taking care of your green children, man. I'm telling you, man, I'm just so proud of you. So what I'm saying here ultimately is take the season and grow that grass. Appreciate it. Because when it comes that you get the opportunity, and keep an open mind to it, but you get that opportunity to start going out elsewhere and venturing into new lands, remember what you learned here. Take some of it with you and return often so they can fuel you for the road forward. Because a lot of times our life needs balance and it is out of balance in a lot of ways. And I don't mean to sound like super new agey, but it's true. We have chemical balances in our brain that we need. We have things in life that we need to do. We don't want to overeat. We don't want to undereat, right? We don't want to oversleep. We don't want to undersleep, right? We don't want to be selfish, but we also don't want to be selfless, right? Because then we don't want to hate ourselves. And we don't want to give ourselves over to like, bad habits and stuff like that, right? We want balance. We want charity. Charity is the balance of what selfishness and selflessness is. You don't want to be either. You want to be charitable. That's a virtue. Mm-hmm. The other two are not virtues. So we need balance in a lot of things. And I think that what you're experiencing right now is cultivating that in you, so to speak, and so to keep on that plant sort of analogy. It's cultivating in you the other part of you that maybe you were missing. So you come back into balance, come back into peace. And then, yeah, you said, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm getting water to dry lands. Awesome. Great analogy. But my bucket had holes in it. I'm patching the bucket and building a pipeline. Nice. I need to figure out how to patch it though. Dude, first of all, pipeline, yes, absolutely. I'm all about that pipeline. But second of all, yeah, how do I patch it? Right. And I think that's something that you're learning right now. You're figuring it out as you go. What you do from here is you do not lose where you are right now, but you start venturing out. You start going out into like, okay, what can I do from here? You start moving out, start taking up opportunities, but you return here often because this is where that's how you kind of figure out how to patch it. You start making holes and then you go, okay, that made a hole. So let's not do that. But then let's repair it. Let's come back, re-energize, and figure out, what do I need to do? All right, think about stuff and like just move your mind around because, I mean, like I talked about last stream, I think you were here for it. We need times of silence. We are out distracting ourselves so often that we don't give our minds the time of silence to unravel and then to ravel. Because first we have to unravel the knots before we can create something with the rope. Tie things together. There you go. Before we can start tying things together, we have to break apart the knots and the rope. And so we have to have that time. And at first, man, that silence is so annoying and it's hard because we've got all these knots. It's frustrating. Everything's built up into a giant endless ball of knots. And we're like, man, how the heck am I ever going to get this down to just a straight line again? But then as we give ourselves more time of silence, more time to think, and you know this, Akil, you already know this. I'm just repeating it because you know it. And it's good and it's healthy. You know, slowly throughout time, we start to be able to talk to ourselves kindly again. We start to be able to control our thoughts and then start building things, start tying the right things together to create something that makes sense, something that's logical, and something that makes us on fire. Like, oh man, that sounds awesome. I'm going to go do that. But anyways, I've talked for quite a while about a couple of different things. I'm going to hand it over to Joe so he can unravel some things for us
Unravel.
and water our plants.
I don't know. You know, as I was reading
Patch our buckets.
your post here, I wasn't ready to have it handed to me so quickly. I needed a drink of water.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to delay you?
It's okay. No, it's just fine. I figured it out.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Right.
Anyway, Akil, your bucket analogy reminded me of a parable I heard about the story of the two buckets. Anybody know the story of the two buckets and the gardener?
No, I don't.
Ryan's shaking his head. He doesn't know the story of the two buckets. Somebody's going to post in the chat the answer to this whole thing. But anyway, there were these two buckets, right? And one bucket always was feeling good about it. He was like the shiny, amazing bucket. And the other one was kind of this old bucket, right? You know, and the crazy thing was this gardener would go down and he would go down with his two buckets to get water for the day. And he would bring these two buckets up and he had this thing, this yoke that he would wear, that he had the two buckets, you know, suspended from, and he'd carry them, you know, as he went back to the house. He'd carry down every day. He'd carry him down, he'd carry back. And every day, the brand new bucket would still be full, but the old kind of junky bucket would be like half full by the time he got back to the house. So it was like leaking, right? So this bucket was feeling bad for itself because it's like, oh my gosh, you know, like I'm just a useless bucket. I've got leaks, you know, I'm not even serving my purpose well, right? Because by the time we get back, the shiny, awesome looking bucket, you know, has all the water still left, and I've only got half my water left. It's just not fair. I'm just a worthless bucket. And you know what happened was, over time, in stories, you know, buckets can talk, right? And so
Every story.
yes, in every story, the bucket can talk. And so the bucket says to the gardener, says to the guy, right? He's like, why do you keep me around? Like, I've noticed I am such a useless bucket to you because we go down, you bring me and this awesome bucket, and you fill us up with water and you walk us back. And, by the time we're back, I'm half full and he's all the way full still. And the gardener said to the bucket, he goes, "No, you are that way by design. I keep you that way because that's how I need you. Have you noticed that on your side, as we walk, there's a beautiful flower garden along the path? On the shiny bucket side, there's no garden. It's just dirt. On your side, I planted flowers because I knew that as I walked back to the house, you would water them gradually as I went. So you're fulfilling your purpose."
That's really cool. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
Cool
And I
story,
was
bro.
like, yeah, when I saw the bucket with the holes in it, that's immediately what I thought.
Mm,
I was like,
that's cute. I like that one.
but but that's a lesson here too. Just because, you know, like you feel like you might have missed some opportunities, just because you feel like, things didn't line up, just because you feel like, okay, I wasted a bunch of time and I'm trying to figure things out. Just because you're going through all that, it doesn't mean that there's no purpose. Maybe this is just a time of building. We talked about it with Amira too. We talked about, this being a time of, you know, strengthening and regrouping. And like Ryan says, I have to agree with Ryan. I'm really glad to hear that you're living a healthy lifestyle. You feel good about it. I think that's great. But everything comes into our life. Every season of our life comes to us to teach us something. It seems like during the hard times, we're a little bit more open to the teaching. Personally, when things are difficult for me, I always tend to reach out to God more. When things are going great and I'm on top of the world, I'm feeling pretty full of myself and I'm not reaching out to God as much.
Yeah, it's true.
And so, not necessarily to make this a religious discussion, but it seems to me that God puts those struggles in my life because he's interested in me. Because that's how he knows he's going to get my attention and draw me to him. He knows when I have good times and I'm succeeding and doing all these great things and everything like that. He knows that I'm going to be more distant from him. But when things are hard and challenging and like when it's all falling apart around me, those are the times when I cry out in prayer. And so I've noticed over time that it seems to be the case. And when I'm going through a struggle and I pray, I don't always remember this. And I'm grateful for your post because it helped me to remember that God hands me these struggles because he loves me, because he wants me to be close to him. And he knows that my response to those struggles is going to be me crying out to him and getting closer to him. As we get, as we go through our lives, struggles build us, struggles change us. And sometimes we don't see the results right away. They don't become apparent. But then years down the road, we see, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that happened. Because I never would have learned this stuff. I never would have been able to help in this particular way. You guys all know Ryan. He's a tremendous, tremendous musician. and a tremendous, tremendous producer. Like, I look forward to every release that he has because I'm just like, oh my gosh, every time he's better and better and better. Now, he has said on streams before that he attributes, the fact that I helped him in the early days, learn some stuff about engineering. And do you know the interesting thing? There was a time in my life when I went to college, I went to major university, and I had a nervous breakdown. I had to drop out of school. I was having all kinds of panic attacks. I had to go see a psychiatrist for a long time, and I had to go, I had to deal with all this crazy, just hard, struggling depression. And do you know what? I emerged the thing that got me to emerge from that depression was I got a little bit of encouragement from my parents, and I enrolled in a community college, and I enrolled in audio production. And the stuff I learned in that audio production class was the stuff that I used, the knowledge that I used to help Ryan when we had our first project that we worked on together. That was what I fell back on. That knowledge that I learned as a result of going through a major depression because I'd been at college and I was doing music composition and performance, and I was going to like do all this great stuff, right? It was going to be awesome. And then everything just fell apart halfway through the second semester and just But after that nervous breakdown, I emerged and came out and started learning audio production. And so in a way, all of what we have now, all the projects we've worked on together, all the stuff that we've done together, and everything that, Ryan has taken the stuff I knew and he's expanded. He's gone way beyond now. Like I'm just awestruck at his ability as a producer. But I'm going to take a little bit of credit where I can, and I'm going to credit it a little bit to that nervous breakdown I had for the sake of the story, because it's true. We never know the path of our life, how it's going to go. We never know what kind of impact it might make just at the right moment, just that little, it might not even be that big of a thing, but it was just enough to just flip a switch in somebody's life and point them in a different direction. And you didn't hardly do anything. Like in this story, like in our experience here, I didn't really do much of anything. I just kind of helped, put some stuff together, and and it was kind of like pat him on his butt and send him on, his way and stuff. Sorry.
There were no butt pats, guys. I have to disclaimer: no butts were patted in the patting of the butts.
No, because we were doing things just like we're doing now, virtually on computer screen. That was our communication. We would see each other more often, maybe like about once a month. We'd actually see each other, because we go to different events together. But the whole project was put together with us on our computers doing that, and we were using Skype. And the great thing about Skype was you could mash your keyboard, and it would show a little pencil breaking.
Yeah. I remember that. Sometimes you just had to, man.
I know. We sit there. It was so fun. We could spend hours just sitting there. We'd be chatting,
breaking pencils,
breaking the pencil. It was so fun. But yeah, like all the things that we go through are gifts. All of our challenges are gifts. All of our good times are gifts. Easily, you look at your good times and it's clear that they're gifts. But your challenges are gifts too, for a few reasons. You're going to learn some stuff. On the other end of it, you might just end up in a place that's going to make a difference. And most importantly, I believe, it's those moments when we draw the closest to our Creator because we're desperate. God knows that. Mm-hmm. And so, Akil, I'm super impressed with you. You know this. I hope we get to work together on all kinds of stuff someday. I I know you got your whole life that is going on and everything, and I'm super proud of you. Um, and I just, I'm so glad to to be here for part of the journey with you. So anyway, Ryan, what else you got?
Yeah, I mean, on that same note, um, I guess to perhaps wrap it up here, I guess we're kind of getting around that 2 hour mark, and it makes me really sad because one, I'm having a really great time with you guys here. And two, Subaru joined us and Elizabeth joined us. Guys,
Ah,
I'm gonna do your topics. Could you like just as a favor to me, could you join like a little bit earlier next time? Please. Like it doesn't have to be too much earlier, but it would have been, we could maybe do yours. Anyways, um, if you want to know when
it's
we
all
start
right.
2 hours ago, on Monday, Friday, and Wednesdays. Well, that was a weird order.
Monday,
Mondays,
Friday,
Wednesdays, and
Wednesday.
Fridays. So yeah. Anyways, Akil
but
said
we're
this.
but we're holding out. We're gonna do a 24-hour stream one day.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna do it.
I could do it. We'll do it one day.
I know how to do it.
I know how to do it. That's what it was. I referenced that like
Akil,
a week ago.
it's not you that took the time slot.
Yeah, no, you didn't take the time
We're
slot.
we're already doing yours, man.
Yeah. Here's what I want to finish up with though. Akil said this. I'm quite mean on myself lately. Being humble was twisted into low self-esteem. I didn't think I deserved the relief. At least it kept nagging me that I didn't need to get a break yet. And dude, I love that you said this because yeah, I mean, Senna's response, that's perfectly great. That's my response too. Don't believe in desert, or rather don't have faith in deserve. Life is a gift, just accept the gifts. Absolutely. Um, but here's the thing, like you're running, right? And you feel like you've gone nowhere. You're putting so much energy into stuff and you feel like, man, I haven't been putting enough energy in. And then you're beating yourself all up inside, right? And you're beating yourself up like every single day because you're like, I'm not getting anything done. I should be getting stuff done. And then I try to do something, but then then I give up or I don't try hard enough or I don't try for long enough and like nothing's happening. And this goes on for like a year. And then all of a sudden, like you get this break. And at first you're like, just like you said, you're just like, you beat yourself up because you're like, now I can't do something. I'm too late. And then after a while, you start to realize this is a break, but it's also something new. It's something that you're supposed to be doing. And what you went through before, that's something you were supposed to be doing too. Because both of them lead to the same end. Both of them are preparing you in one way or another for a bigger finish. So, you went through that time where it felt like you weren't getting things done, or it felt like you weren't being hard enough on yourself or whatever. And then all along, you were just being too hard on yourself. You find out. It's not that you weren't good enough. It's not that your value is any less. It's not that you don't deserve anything, right? But you go through that and it's kind of humbling, right? But at the same time, we have to go through that. That's part of the journey. That's part of the learning experience. And that's part of what makes us even better in the end. I am glad I'm not here in this seat talking to you guys 5 years ago. I'm glad I'm not here in this seat, especially 10 years ago, and even far more, especially 20 years ago, right? If you put me in the seat 5 years ago,
you're like 20 years ago.
no, I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be, I would not want to be in this seat trying to give people advice. Okay.
As a
10-year-old, I would not be in
this
this seat trying to talk about my life, what I've been through and how I've turned it into a positive, right? And how you could do the same thing, right? It's essentially like what I do. But I had to go through a lot of different things and a lot of things that didn't make sense at the time. And a lot of things that felt like I was just being lazy and slow and doing nothing. And yet it somehow amounts to something good. I mean, thanks be to God, right? I mean, but that's the way life is. You have to have your downtimes, and then you have to have your downtimes from those downtimes. And then comes the upswing. In Joe's song, Grow, I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs. He talks about going down, but the more momentum on your downswing, the more momentum you have on your upswing. So it's okay that you fell. It's okay. It's okay that you were hard on yourself because you learned. And you learned that, that wasn't appropriate. But at the same time, now I can start to see how I talk good to myself. Sometimes we have to go through being angry at ourselves to fix our anger. Sometimes you have to go through being angry at ourselves to fix our problems, to fix our laziness, or to fix our own mental anger, right? Like, we shouldn't be getting angry at ourselves. Every time you get angry is another chance to stop, But yeah, I again, one of the main things I love about this though is you twisted being humble into into a low self-esteem. And I think we've all done that.
Mhm.
And it's our culture. I mean, we're taught that being humble means you're not good enough and you're not as good as the people around you. And that's just wrong. That's not the truth,
Yeah.
you know?
I've even feigned humility for attention.
Oh, yeah. I've done that too. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think back to the times where I was like doing things for attention. I'm like, wow, that was awful. Why would I do that? Like, that was so dumb. And then like the amount of like emotional breakdowns I would have because of it. And I'm like, that was such a
Right.
bad road and path to go on.
I
Like,
know.
emotional breakdowns happening because someone finds out that I'm doing something because I feel like I should do that because it would give me attention. Like, I'm pretending to be humble so that, yeah, oh my gosh, roads you don't want to live through, but you do. And you realize, like, you don't just learn what not to do from that experience. Somehow you learn what to do. I think, it's different. Like, where oftentimes we're like, talk about, like, you don't put your hand on the stove because when you do, you learn what not to do. Right. But it's different than that. And when life gives you that, you figure out more about yourself and who you are and what you're capable of, both bad and good. So yeah.
Mhm. Yep. I like your most recent post here, Kill. It says, by the way, the context for the whole post was actually me wanting to write again. My mind goes into a higher gear when I start writing. I just kept holding it off. The only thing I wrote lately were worries. You know what? You started. You got to start somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know, you got to pick things back up and start again somewhere. And if that's where you started, that's the perfect place to be.
Yep.
And from there, you'll expand and you'll continue to grow. You
Yeah.
know,
Do it and keep
my
it up, man.
my life has been a bunch of starting and stopping and starting and stopping again. And hopefully, I can learn to start and stay started.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the learning process. Even what happens during the stopping things, during the stopped times, that's still valuable.
Hmm.
It's just different. It's not valuable according to the world necessarily, but in the building of a soul, it's extremely valuable. And again, Akil, I'm super proud of you. I'm so proud of, I mean, you've been around since I think you were on my first time I ever did Don't Worry Wednesday. I think you were here.
I
If
think so.
not, if not the first one, you were there, shortly thereafter. And I appreciate you so much. And
Me too.
yeah, I'm so glad that you tend to be a familiar face a lot of
Yeah.
the time. And
Yeah. You're always here, man. We
thank you
love
for
you.
being here.
Seriously. We appreciate you
Yeah.
a lot. So
So
yeah,
with that, man, oh man, look at
close
that.
it
The
down.
time went by super fast.
I know. I wish we could keep on going, but people got to sleep, namely Joe. Just got to stream a double cup of Joe tomorrow morning. Make sure you guys catch it.
Yep.
That's
It's
at
on the same channel. If you just
same
subscribe
channel.
to this channel and ring the
that
bell,
bell.
hit ring that notification bell, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. Don't sleep Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Actually, that's when we do our 24-hour stream. No,
Yeah, one of these times.
sleep Saturday.
Frost, ring, ring. Welcome, Frost.
Say hey.
See ya. Yeah, so ring the notification bell, come back 7 in the morning. It's 7.5 hours from now. Joe and I will be live, most likely.
So you got time.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna go take a little bit of a nap. Hopefully.
After
It'll
you
be
finish
good.
your work.
Actually, my work's done.
Oh, you did? Oh, you did. You finished it. Nice.
I didn't have much today. I
Okay.
saved it for tomorrow.
That's good.
But yeah, you guys are awesome. Joe never sleeps and Joe sleeps in, and we'll let you
Yes.
figure out which one.
I wish Joe is Joe.
You know, it's gonna be great though. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit record on this conference call, and then I'm gonna record Joe coming in first thing in the morning. It's gonna be so funny. Like,
He'll appreciate you for that.
He will, because but I'm telling you, he's like, it's amazing to watch the transformation, because he like it's like he's first woken up. He's like, hey guys. And then by the time we start, he's like, yep, let's go. And somebody called me a ball of energy. I had never heard of myself called that before.
That's impressive.
But maybe
that's really impressive, because that's like not your personality, which means you're doing great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the morning. Maybe it's just because I've converted myself into a morning person or something. I don't know, but
maybe. Oh no, I think part of it also, you're standing. That helps a lot.
I am standing. Yes, for that stream I stand.
It might not look like it, but he's standing for that stream, which it does give you that extra bit of energy. You know, when you sit down and you do a stream, it is different. You know, and then when you stand up, you have that natural energy about you.
Yeah, I'm usually dancing around. Usually like, okay, I've had like 2 cups of coffee and a bunch of water. So when's this gonna get done? Because I gotta go.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a wonderful stream with you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. It's Wednesday, and for everyone out there, it's Holy Week. Big week, and we'll be back on Friday.
Yep.
So yes, and it'll be good. We will be super excited to see all of you come back on Friday. Elizabeth, Subaru, and anyone else that we did not get to your topics tonight, please come back on Friday. We will do our best to be on point and get to your topics then as well. So again, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell so you can come back in the morning. And also go to the Twitch stream. Somebody post a link. I don't have the link in front of me. Somebody can do that. But Ryan and Jesse and Princess and Catsrook do a gaming stream. There it is. Thank you, Princess. On Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So we have BSS streaming 7 days a week. And it's all live streams because we want to hang out with you in the chat. That's the point. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time. And until then, be safe and be awesome. You already are, but continue being awesome, I guess. So
yeah,
that. Be like that.
All right. See you guys. Peace. You guys rock.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.